First up, I have Ivar Goldcrown, played by.
Ryan Nugget, and Ivar is a gray dwarf eldritch knight.
Excellent. Then we have Okoru, played by.
Uh, Played by Charwolf, and Okoro is a ferocious bugbear monk.
Then we have Sylvia, played by.
A coughing Cerulean, and Sylvia is a human sorcerer.
Okay. Then we have Raz, played by.
Will, and Raz is a half-elf lore bard.
And last but not least, we have Azure, played by.
Jeremy 827, and Azure is a half-elf paladin.
All right. So the last time we played through, let me see here, we had investigated and explored a lot of a brewery, an ancient brewery, and then found the exit to the next floor. But a little more exploration is going on this floor. So the last thing that we discovered was a room that contains a number of caryatids carved in statues made out of white marble. They each have the shape, the likeness of a stoic female elf in flowing robes, and a quadrone, a type of modron, has explained that these statues are capable of restoring someone who has been petrified um, if you speak the command phrase elf magic. And it can also cure blinding, deafening, poison, and stunned as well. So, anyways, that was discovered, and the very last thing that had been said was that the quadrone indicated off to the east is a series of hallways of statues of various creatures.
And the Quadrone is speaking a language none of us, but Sylvia can speak, and she can only speak it because she's cast tongues on herself, right?
That's all
I think
correct.
Raz cast tongues on me, but I also have comprehend languages.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you are speaking binary at each other.
Yes, essentially. Do you have any other questions for him, or would you like to explore elsewhere?
I will simply ask him very briefly if he's ever heard of a 2.
I, the DM, do not know what you're talking about. What?
If they're
Well,
speaking binary.
Oh, they're not speaking binary. That was just short language, a short term for machine language. So a funny joke, but not actually relevant.
wonderful.
Perception rolls.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yep. Let's get everybody making those.
Nice.
Okay. Holy crap.
All right. Well, it looks like we are going to be spotting all of the secret doors this time.
It'll make things go quicker.
A little bit. All right. So let's see. This area is a little bit hard for me to reveal.
And the Quadrone hasn't been like threatening to attack us as long as we let it go about its business, right?
The specific objective of the quadrone, which I'm pretty sure I told you last time, and not to like shame you for not remembering or anything, but just to keep me honest, his sole objective was that he is under orders from Halaster to do the following: remember his name, defend itself, attack anything that tries to damage or topple the caryatids, and walk in a counterclockwise circle around the caryatids when not defending itself or the pillars.
Yeah. Well, Sylvia knows those things.
Yes.
Okora is just going to not, try and not pester the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pass on that info to everybody.
Trying to figure out the easiest way for me to sort of reveal through here. I think that's appropriate. This is going to take me a little bit to sort of reveal this. I'm just going to more or less assume that you guys are going to explore along these hallways. So while that's going on, stored here are creatures that have been turned to stone And as you go through, that's silly. They didn't break anything down. Hold on just a second. I want to check the books map. Let's see, that's too far. This should be floor 2. Oh, that's right. You guys are on floor 2. And this is area 25 here. And then what's all this business about? There, what? There are no such areas. Wait. Oh. Huh. Okay. I need to find
Like,
that map again. Sorry. Here. Ah, okay. I see. They just didn't individually label anything. That's fine. So there is going to be a list because I think it's fair to assume that you guys are intent on fully exploring this area. I grab that as well. Just blurb.
Yeah, I doubt I see anything that makes me concerned.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but there's nothing threatening your life at the moment. Let's put it that way. I'm just trying to get all this gunk revealed.
Are any of these statues a tiefling?
We'll get to that too. I have a complete list. I just want to get the whole map revealed so that you guys see all the places you can go. Because the other thing is that every single one of these spaces is labeled, and there are some spaces. There we go. Last one, I think. That should do it. Okay. All right. Let me get back to what I was doing. All right. So starting from this room
Mm-hmm.
and then going along the top left to right, the first room contains 4 bullywugs. The second room contains 3 grick. The third room contains 2 drow. The fourth room contains 4 rust monsters. The fifth room contains 5 lizard-like creatures. The sixth room contains 6 goats. Now on the bottom row, starting left to right, there is 1 boar, 1 constrictor snake, 1 bird-like humanoid, a different type of lizard-like humanoid,
Hmm.
and let me just make sure. Yeah, this is them. Right here, this one contains a statue of a mind flayer. And then after that is a small spiny creature with a large single eye. Next, there is a very large and physically imposing orc of some description. There is a giant badger, and then there is a hairy humanoid that looks kind of like um, a werewolf with a smushed face, a pug wolf perhaps. And then the very last one appears to be a human. I think it's a human female. Not sure for certain. What young man? My mistake.
A lithe young man, it could be. Um, uh,
Can we
of cour-
roll to see if we can identify the creatures?
Yes, and give me just a moment. So you guys, I'm going to assume that it's fair you went all the way down to look in all of these different corridors, right?
sure.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Because of your excellent perception check, you also locate a secret room. Inside of the secret room, um, here we go. There is a lifelike statue of Halaster. And you guys recognize him from that time you found a simulacrum of him in the extra dimension. Is a dead ringer. So there's a petrified version of Halaster here, which is very unnerving.
Yes.
That sounds like an Ivar thing since he found it.
Yeah.
Okoru's going to pick up a goat.
Okay. The goat statues are pretty heavy.
I'm a bugbear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and your hobbies.
Are you
Okay.
going to put it somewhere?
He's going to carry it over toward one of the statues while other people do whatever they want to do right now.
Okay. What are other people doing?
I would
Watch
like to
this.
unfreeze the Halaster statue.
Okay. You are certainly welcome to do so. So, it's going to require just a little bit of effort, mostly narratively, between either yourself and either Ivar or Azure, or Ivar and Azure together to sort of carry the Halaster statue. It is a large statue, and not because Halaster is a particularly large human, but because when petrified, he was petrified in a very dramatic pose where like his cape is flaring out and his arms are spread out, his mouth is open, and it is both very heavy and kind of tricky to sort of move, especially around corners and all that other shit, navigating past the secret door. So you guys managed to get him all the way back down into the caryatid space. Are there any other statues that you want to move in here?
The
Well,
human
be-
female?
Yeah,
I
that
mean, the
last
human male.
the human in the last room, definitely.
I also wanted to identify the lizardmen species and see if I could tell the two of them apart. Or sorry, not lizardmen, but lizard-like humanoids or whatever they're
Sure,
called.
sure.
and Okoru is interested in the ogre
There is no ogre. I think you mean the
or
orc.
orc.
Or
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the werewolf.
I'm
Pug
interested
Wolf.
in the avian as well.
Okay. Why don't you, for the avian and the lizard, if you want to try to identify those, roll nature. For
Okay.
for the for the pug wolf, roll um, Arcana, I guess. I hate overusing it like that.
Oh, I know. It looks like I probably know what the pug wolf is.
You do indeed. So let me get some NPCs here.
Meanwhile, Okoru grabbed the goat fairly early on. I think he's put two and two together and would like a leg of lamb or some goat meat or maybe just a goat friend. So he is intending on taking one of the goats and booping it against the caryatid.
Okay, we'll get to that. First things first, this is the creature identified as the Pug Wolf because I really did not know how else to describe it. It looks kind of werewolf-like to me, but its face is decidedly different. This is a Quaggoth. They are savage and territorial. They climb all over the chasms of the Underdark, and they are often used by slaves or as slaves by the Drow. They are not good, but they're also not outright evil. They're very savage and they're very chaotic, for lack of a better term. And yeah, generally they're not super friendly to people that are not other Quaggoths. They tend to respect Drow mostly because Drow will kill them very quickly if they don't. So that's one thing that you've discovered. Next. The avian creature. Oh, and can you roll me a second nature check, Ivar, while I'm doing this?
Sure.
The avian creature is a kenku. They're feathered humanoids that wander the world as vagabonds driven by greed. They are capable of perfectly imitating any sound that they hear. So when they speak, it is a series of imitated words that they've heard other intelligent species use to string together sentences. And, that I guess makes them like Bumblebee out of Transformers. Um, Also, not much better. So the reptilian species, can't tell them apart. Like they're distinctly different, but as to what is what and what they might be, it's all a mess in your head.
You said nature for the lizards.
Hmm.
Are the
And
Mind
lizards
if
two.
I
wearing
roll?
anything?
One of them is wearing. It looks like rags, and then the other one is wearing. It's kind of hard to tell, but it might be leather armor, studded leather armor.
The one wearing armor is probably more likely to be civilized.
That's always possible.
Maybe. He might be an asshole, but at least he'll have the rudiments of language.
It's anyone's guess.
Okay, well I will goat boop.
Okay. You use one of the statues to unpetrify the goat. It sort of stumbles about for a second and then shakes its head and then starts looking around for something to eat. It doesn't seem particularly bothered by the experience.
I pet the goat.
The goat bleats happily and eyeballs some some of your tunic that looks particularly tasty.
I give him I reach in my bag and give him some bread.
Oh, okay. Well, now the goat's thrilled. So it's chewing on the bread and kind of murmuring to itself. What will you unpetrify next?
I actually have a question. Does each statue only have one charge, or is it infinite charges?
Good question. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure I know
Thought it
the
was
answer.
1 per day. I forget though.
Well, we definitely don't want to unpetrify the mind flayer unless we've got a
Really?
damn good reason.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, you always could. It would certainly spice up my game. Uh,
This
so,
could be the one mind flayer we were told about.
I mean, it also means somebody was inaccurate in their telling. But
Mm,
where was I? Oh, yeah. So with the pillars, each one has a charge. So there's essentially 4 charges total, but there's 1 charge for each statue, and then they regain their magic at the next dawn. And considering
Yep.
that you haven't seen the sun in almost a month, who knows when that'll be?
right.
Well, I wasted a charge on a goat, but it was worth it. We have a friendly goat.
So we're taking Halaster, and who are the other 2 going to be?
The human male,
Okay.
and so that's 2, and you have a third one,
I
unless
think the Kanku might be.
Yeah, I agree.
okay.
Let's go with the
Do we
Kanku.
really need the human male or Koru belly aches?
Did we really need a goat?
Yes! I've named him Jumpy.
Marvelous. Okay. So will you act or unfreeze the human or Halaster first?
So if I remember correctly, Halaster stored people he did not want unfrozen in here, right?
That was speculation by the Quadrone, but yes, that was something he had said.
Mm.
So I say we do Halaster last, and then have the other people that we unfreeze be in a different room when we talk to Halaster, so he doesn't get.
Okay. All right. So
What do you all think?
That works for me. Why don't you
Yeah,
pick
sure.
the order?
How about we do order of least to most dangerous? Kenku is probably the least dangerous. Then the human, then Halaster.
Human is the most boring.
okay. So we'll start with the Kenku. When the creature is unfrozen, it seems very startled, but by the fact that it's been unpetrified and that all of you are around, and it puts its hand on its dagger, but it doesn't draw it, and it looks pretty frightened.
Okoro picks up Jumpy and pets Jumpy in front of the Kanku.
Hello, friend. What? We decided that we wanted to save you. Or is everything all?
It parrots in a deep male voice. Yes.
So why did Halaster petrify you?
Don't remember. What year is it?
I tell him the current year.
Is he telling the truth that he doesn't remember?
It's kind of hard to tell. Kenku have very different mannerisms than most other humanoids because of their bird-like nature. Additionally, it's not like you can read the tone of his voice. That said, the creature doesn't have any reason to lie, and it certainly hasn't said anything that's beyond belief. So you think he's probably telling the truth?
Okoro hands him a beer.
Oh, the Kenku looks at it hesitantly and then reaches out a clawed hand and kind of grasps it and lifts the beer cup towards you and starts to drink it down a little bit. And then when it discovers that it's good ale, downs the rest of it in a furious fashion. And
When were you frozen?
150 years ago.
Well, welcome back to the world.
Gotta ask you, like, what's your name though? How come we skipped over that? This is like the 5th question.
We're rude.
I mean, it I guess didn't matter until now. Spare me a moment.
Is his name Jumpy the Goat?
Actually, I just realized something. He's incapable of telling you. He can
Nobody's ever said his name to him then, huh?
Well, how could he? How his name could only be something that his parents heard someone else say, and then he would be
Well, no,
parroting his parents.
it's conceivable that he could have written down a name and somebody could have said that out loud.
Ah, excellent, excellent. Okay, well then in that case, his name is Oust Adraste.
Not as good name as Jumpy the Goat.
He shrugs. I don't know what to
Well,
say
we're
to
eventually heading back to the surface if you'd like to come with us.
that.
Well, we're going down first, but
I said eventually.
The creature shakes his head and points up. We'll part ways here. Thank you.
well, okay. You know how to get to like? I'm gonna show him like our little hand-drawn map of the level that we have thus far, and point out the goblin market.
Okay. You give him a series of directions, and the creature pays very rapt attention, both to your drawings and to the instructions that you give, landmarks, things of that nature. All the creatures that you killed along the way are landmarks now, and so it nods several times, and then at the end, it perfectly parrots back all of your directions.
Cool. Oh, one other thing. When you were down here previously, did you wind up finding any other portal?
The creature tilts its head. Um, Give me a second. I gotta find my thingy.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
It nods. Found Archgate to 6th level.
Where?
Floor 3. Well, actually, how would I convey that information to you? Let me see here. And this is P. Okay. Floor 3, Azrock Hobgoblin Village, northwest corner. That's the best he can give you.
I'm gonna take down that as notes.
Good.
Okay.
For the portals found document, is it possible to edit?
Oh, in the notes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it
Portals
public.
found.
I'm editing it right now.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Incidentally, he also knows how to activate it.
Actually, it's read only, so only you can edit it. Just so you're aware.
Oh, because he's
Oh.
the owner. No, it's whoever creates it is the person who has to keep up with it.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So, right. So, this arch has a gold dragon mouth agape, and if you insert a gemstone worth at least 100 gold pieces into its mouth, the dragon head animates, chomps down on the gem, which destroys it, and then opens the portal. There is a power level requirement to use the gate, meaning that it will not let you pass if you are insufficient level, essentially. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that's why the other gates weren't letting us through.
But it let through Mage Hand because Mage Hand is all powerful.
Indeed,
Yeah, I
Mage
mean,
Hand is all powerful.
I tossed a bolt through one of them.
Bolts are also all powerful. They kill all kinds of things.
You can't argue with that. All right. Anything else that we want to ask the little dude?
Anything else you want to tell us before we let you go?
Good luck.
Bye, Jumpy.
Waves and then departs. He very quickly slinks into the shadows, and you don't even hear his departure. So next up, if I remember correctly, is your human. So everybody, you know, uh, picks up a piece of the statue and kind of carries the whole thing into the other room. Um, And when the young man is petrified, he's very wiry. He has a very large hawk-like nose. His hair is wild. He was grasping a short sword when you found him, and so he is still grasping it now. He seems very twitchy. He has some neurotic sort of muscle spasms, like his eyelid, his brow, his lips. And he looks pretty panicked to see all of you. How did I get here?
Hell, I don't know. To be honest, you got frozen into a statue and then dumped in the hallway.
It was probably drugs.
I well, the last thing I remember was I I found some powerful magical heart. There was a sea of acid above my head, and I went to take the heart and try to learn its secrets, and then suddenly I vanished. And now I'm here.
Wait, when you
Oh
say acid
shit!
heart, as in like, was it like dried up heart?
Was it what?
Was it like a dried up, emaciated heart?
Yes, yes, that sounds quite like it. There was a spirit that was intent on preventing me from seeking it, and he's clearly dramatizing the whole thing a little bit, but yeah.
You're
Um,
probably
let,
better off.
yeah, I think you lucked out on that one. One of our friends actually did discover the secret of that thing, and well, he ain't here no more.
Oh, I see. Well, I
Or
mean,
or
once
anyone.
great power is acquired from the Undermountain, the best thing to do is take it and use it in the world before the maze kills you. I understand. He twitches.
Yeah, but then no, like he's dead. It killed him.
Oh, oh, I knew it. I knew it was a powerful artifact indeed. Oh, oh, I wish I'd been able to get my hands on it. His eyes glow with greed.
Okoro looks at Sylvia and says, "This is your fault. You made this choice. We could have had the werewolf."
I don't suppose you kind people might be able to tell me a little bit about where we are. What floor is this for starters?
Number two. Well, I mean they reshuffle themselves, right?
Yes, but the layout that you saw, because you did see a map of the entire thing, all 23 levels, did say that this was level 2. So, it might go
Yeah.
2, then 6, then 8, then 12, blah, 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 blah. But yeah,
Yeah, going by the map that we saw up in the top area, this is level 2.
his eyes
Current
light up. Level 2, you say? I
yeah,
I don't suppose you've seen any other bands of humans down here, have you?
there were those cosplayers, but that's about it.
Cause
How
Wait, weren't the Xanathar's folks humans? Our characters would
uh
know that, right?
yeah, some of them were. You described that particular group of thugs.
Oh, I
Uh,
don't describe them. I
I
just want
will.
to point out.
oh, okay. Well then, Raz describes them. He listens for a moment and then becomes disinterested pretty quickly. It doesn't sound like that's the group he's looking for. Um,
What's the group you're looking for? Give us a bit of more of a description. Also, what day, what year were you frozen?
according to his estimation, he was frozen about 50 years ago.
getting closer to the present? Okay.
So it's been 50 years. Are you particularly looking for a group that might be alive?
He suddenly frowns at the news. I hadn't considered that. They would likely be survivors. They'd probably be thin men, similar appearance to myself. Uh, it's hard to say. Things shuffle in the dungeon so often. Who knows what the latest politics are?
There are
To that true.
goblins here. They're good salespeople. You can buy things from them.
Ah, indeed. I'll be able to upgrade my equipment, perhaps. He strokes his beard.
Make sure you find a goblin named Butt Muffin.
Uh, he looks concerned. I shall, friend. I think I'd best depart to find your butt muffin. Good day.
Anything you want to tell us as, gratitude for saving your ass?
Ah,
Apart from phrasing.
yeah, good question. Give me just a second. I have to flip forward in the book. Oops, that's too far. If I'm not mistaken, give me just a second. I gotta find the right page for this one. I know exactly what I want to talk about. On the next level, in the southern portion of the map, near a series or near the bend in the river, there is a large room behind a set of double doors. It looked dwarven in origin. I couldn't find any way to get through it, but if you can get inside any of those places that the Malarkan dwarves created that were part of the original um, stronghold that used to be this fortress is always worth exploring, and I could just tell there was some excellent gold to be had down there.
Thank you for
Cool.
that.
Okay,
I like the sound of that. Thank you.
so he departs. And so the last one that you want to grab is Halaster. You bring him up to the very last and furthest caryatid. Um, and once he's in place,
Okoro hides Jumpy the goat and gives him some food and tells him to behave.
okay. Uh, where's A? I see. Uh, on the statue. So you place it up to the statue, you speak the command word, the statue glows, and then there is a loud and in a thunderous way voice that emanates from right here that suddenly causes you all to almost jump out of your armor. The voice shouts, "Fools!" The statue does not come to life, and now there are a pair of large red lips on the wall.
Wow, somebody's really into oral.
Why are we fools?
And anything you say to it is just going to be returned with "Fools!" It has no other ability to say anything. Arcana check if you'd care to know more about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration.
Wow.
People already rolled. Never mind.
Oh well, I can
Somebody. Oh,
add the bardic inspiration.
It
That's okay.
looks
or you
like
could
Raz
just
got it.
win.
Okay, here we go. This is the effect of a magic mouth spell. I've put it into the chat if you guys want to specifically read it, but the short version of it is you describe a circumstance, a magical mouth appears on the wherever you cast it, and recites a message in your voice at the same volume that you spoke. And so let's see here. When you cast a spell, it remains repeating its message whenever the trigger occurs. And in this case, the trigger also seems to be somebody talks to the mouth. But it only seems to have the word fools in it, so it's not dreadfully useful.
Let's get that statue like away from here. That might
Oh,
be a trigger for.
Okor taps it into the caryatid.
Well, and incidentally, according to this, the book doesn't fully describe, but based on what I believe they're trying to accomplish here, um, you've now triggered this spell permanently, meaning that as long as no one dispels it, that mouth is going to be here for all future adventurers, who will have no idea how it came about, what it's doing here, and why it's screaming fools at them. So that's pretty funny. And if you actually leave the statue here, you might essentially be able to play a joke on anybody else that comes through this area.
Yeah, why the hell not?
All right. Regardless, this you guys have thoroughly searched the other areas of the lifelike statues, so that's kind of all there is to that space. Assuming that you
Could have
don't,
had a werewolf friend or another goat.
well, it was a quaggoth, but still, is it looks like you guys want to explore off to the west.
Yeah, I think we've dilly-dallied around here.
Okay, give me just a second. I'm flipping in my notes. 1, 2. Okay, and then this is A. Okay. All right, I'm going to reveal a little bit of the passage beyond.
Okay.
Let's see here. So you use your magic hand, a mage hand, on the door to reveal
Of course.
a passage that leads into a larger room. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Delete some. I don't need these caryatids anymore. And let's see. Okay, so how do I reveal this? So I guess. And then here. Oh, and then here. And shit.
Ooh.
I guess I'll go like this. Kind of a pain in the ass, but whatever. And then here. And then I'll just go like that so that it's clear. There. Okay. Blah 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 blah. When you come around when you peer around the corner, there are a dozen elven-looking sarcophagi arranged about this dusty room, and it looks like they've been reduced to rubble. There are some carvings that time and neglect have all but destroyed. You can see little parts of them, like elves depicted mounted on elk, parading through the forest as seasons change around them. And there are two large bear-like creatures prowling the room. They seem rather agitated, and they look a bit starved. Um, hmm,
I know a guy named Scott who would totally be into you.
I'm assuming bugbears, but should we roll to
Wait,
identify?
I'm so sorry. Rolling it back. Oh, never mind. I figured out what you mean. Okay, I'm with
That
you now. Yeah, I got it.
I hear he's into bears.
Anyways, I'm sorry. A nature check.
Without dark vision, would I have seen it from here?
No. And this room is definitively not lit.
Raz
Um,
got a 14, looks like.
well, actually not good enough. Unfortunately, it seems that these are bear-like creatures. What specific subspecies you are not certain. Um, but let me see here. Oh, one of the other things that no, I guess I'll just ignore that. Anyways, so these creatures are prowling around, and it doesn't look like it's going to be very easy to avoid them.
Have they spotted us at all?
At the moment, both of them have their backs to you. The southern creature is facing toward the southern wall, and the northern creature is facing towards the western passageway.
Okoro could use some bear-like meat. Shall we initiate combat and see if we can get a surprise round on them?
Go ahead and roll.
Does everyone want to initiate combat?
I mean, sure. What's going on in here? I can't see.
Okay. All right. It looks like the first person to act is going to be Okoru, followed by Raz. So, Okoru, what will you do?
Is this a surprise round,
Cool.
or have we surprised either of these creatures?
Well, everybody needs to roll stealth if you want to try to accomplish that.
Can Ivar and Azor have some kind of advantage since they're behind the door and not actually in the room?
No.
Okay.
Okay. There is no surprise round.
Okay. Well, plenty of people go before this first one, so uh, identified creature 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Let's go here. And then Bugbear Smash. So many menus in my way.
That's a hit.
Story of my life.
Okay.
Then I'm going to kick it. That will increase my AC by 2. I'm going to spend a key point to kick it 2 more times. That's probably not going to hit.
Nope.
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 Um, Okoru dashes into the room, rolls with his warhammer and smacks the creature in the side. It hoots loudly and then is subjected to a flurry of blows
He
as it
he
rolls upon you.
he yells at Sylvia, "Light your fucking torch!"
End your turn when
Alright.
you're ready.
Yep, I should be ready.
All right, Raz is up and Ivar is next.
Raz is going to move 5 feet. Raz is going to fling a fireball at both of them. Then Raz is going to run the.
Okay, so the bear that Okoru hit becomes bloodied by the explosion of fireball. Its singed fur starts to bleed heavily. All done, Raz?
All right, I have to hit the thing. Yep, I'm done.
Ivar is up. Sylvia will be up after the monsters.
All right, I'll shoot the bloodied one.
Hmm.
Pew pew lasers.
You hit?
Okay.
Okay, there's no way I didn't see that.
The pew pew lasers? What are you talking about?
Well, the fireball and then firebolt. There's a lot of cooking going on these. Totally not owlbears.
Oh, yeah, look, I
Yeah.
mean, you've been with this party for a while. Just because you can't actually see the target doesn't mean that you aren't aware when your party engages in combat, if that's the issue.
Oh, it looks like I didn't drop it on there. Sorry. So it's 6 damage
Oh,
on them.
I got it.
All right, and then
Let me
I'm
try
done.
doing it like this. Hey, it worked. Okay, so next up is Haloth. He's only got 30, so he's going to go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he moves to here. He had to double move in order to get there, so that ends his turn. Next up is creature number 1. Does this thing have what I think it has?
Come at me, bro.
Let's see here. What about these? Nope, they're all that. And he has that much movement. 20, 25, 30. He charges up here. And what is the exact multi-attack?
You little bitch.
Okay. Bloop. Fires off its claw. Hits Ivar. Does a moderate amount of damage, and then its beak attempts to snap shut on.
First off, shouldn't I get a attack of opportunity when it comes into my range?
Because
Not in
that's
this
your
edition.
specific feat,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Then,
Yeah.
awesome.
then go right ahead. It's not going to stop him.
Okay.
Actually, it would stop him.
Yeah, because I got the other feat too. Unfortunately.
Sentinel stops his movement if he gets hit by it.
Oh, okay. Well, then roll. Let's see what happens.
And it was which one? The heavy one. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, then he stops what, here? Okay.
Hit him with the blunt end.
Sorry, I hit the wrong one. Don't worry about it. Important thing is I stopped.
Okay.
Okay. So that
Bad bear.
abruptly
Bad.
ends his turn. So this creature is up. Let me check one more thing. Where's these? Ah, yeah, nope, that's appropriate. He whirls on Haloth, swings a claw but misses, and then manages to bite down with its beak, and deals just mere 9 points of damage. Sylvia, you're up, and then it will be Azor.
Okay. I want to point out the drift globe says you can speak its command word and cause it to emanate light or daylight. but it doesn't say that the command word counts as an action for that. Is that acceptable?
Let me double check something. Hmm. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing for this globe. Um, when you speak the first word, the globe simply rests on whatever surface it's on. So you would speak the word, and then I don't know, it would be on the ground adjacent to you, to the left or something.
Yeah,
You
that's fine.
you speak another word, and it will lift up and sort of hover and follow you within a certain vicinity. But all that is to say, just that. Let me see here. Can I draw a pointer? Um, Here. This is roughly the light radius that's affected. And obviously walls block the light, so, be intelligent about that, but that's the radius. So
Right.
you can see the creature near you.
Okay. And I didn't use an action to do that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now that I can see the damn thing, I'm going to try and identify it. Okay.
That is sufficient.
Yay!
These are
Owlbear?
owlbear. They look like this.
Yep.
So
Um,
cute.
yeah, cute.
No.
Exactly. I mean, sure, they're pretty ferocious predators on their own way, right? But they're also not any more intelligent than the average bear either. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do what warlocks always do.
Shillelagh and melee? Oh, no.
Pew pew.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know that you were still supposed to be invisible.
I mean, I
It probably wore off.
So for the first one,
have no idea.
that's not an issue. Can you re-roll the second one?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It hit.
All right, then don't roll the damage. We'll just go with what you already had.
Cool. And I will use one healing die on Raz, I guess.
Okay. Azure, you're up.
Actually,
The walk over here.
Wait, what's going
When
on? Ah,
Oh, that's so rare. That's so rare.
okay. You are up, Okoru. Next up will be Raz.
5, 10, 15, 20. This is called splitting the bear. Actually, I don't need to be there. So I will be here since I have all the movement. Badoof. I got a little cocky, I guess, so I guess I'm kicking the shit out of this thing now.
Oh
At least
no.
trying.
The Fast and the Furious.
Badoof. I'm not going to spend another key point on this shit. So that's going to be the end of me if I can get the combat tracker to come up.
Okay. So,
Bam.
a series of whirling blows. The first warhammer is deflected by the creature. It does have a moderately tough hide, but the rest of your kicks.
Thank you for blaming my natural one on the creature and not on me.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Known each other a long time.
That's how the bards will tell it.
Raz mocks the owlbear, which somehow understands him.
And I do not succeed, so that's it for my turn.
Okay. Next up is Ivar.
All right, I'll try to kill Owlbear 1, I guess. And fail. All right. Good thing I have another attack.
Hooray for fighters.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Okay, so the first of these mighty beasts is finally taken down. They can really absorb some punishment.
And I'm just going to move over here. And that's going to be my turn. I'll click the tracker. There we go.
Haloth is up. He's already in position. So he fires off fist number 1. Nat 1. That almost never happens.
We're buddies, Hal and me.
Oh! He hits with the bare minimum amount of damage. So his first attack, the creature hoots and he is knocked off balance. So he kind of panics and swings again, and it's not a very good blow that he landed. And so it's a glancing blow on the creature. Next up is the owlbear. It's going to attempt to maul Haloth, and this time it might actually succeed.
That one didn't hit.
Oh, oops. Well, then I owe him 15 points. There we go. So the first claw lands kind of heavily on Haloth, who shudders underneath the blow, but the beak manages to evade. So Sylvia, you are up.
I'm going to pick up the drift globe and sort of carry it with me.
Okay. That's an action.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll move to here. And really, I don't have much that I can do since I'm carrying the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. As long as you're
You
in
can
position, you
sit
can
on it.
just end your turn. I'm sure it'll be around next round.
I'll keep sort of edging this way until I can see the thing.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Alrighty. Next up is Azure, and then it will be Okoru.
Zoom on over and swing.
You hit and do a decent chunk of damage.
And that's my turn.
You cleave heavily with the greatsword, carving out a side of the creature's shank, and then Okoru.
Okay. I'm trying to bring up my Warhammer, and like pictures of Kenku keep getting in the way. All right. Hit it with the Warhammer again.
Ooh,
That was significantly less impressive. I will spend a key point.
you almost critted there. And that did it. After a flurry of furious kicks, the owlbear finally succumbs and slumps to the floor, bleeding massively. So congrats, the owlbears have been defeated. With the opportunity to explore around the room a little bit, you discover, let's see here, 2 things. There is a secret door in the northern wall, and there's also something unusual about you're searching around the room, looking through a lot of the rubble, and along the southern wall, you found a 10-pound clay pot that's lying amid some rubble, and it's painted with images of barefooted elf druids leading a march of small uprooted shrubs that seem to be walking of their own accord. There's something like pretty unusual about this pot, beyond just that that image, but you're not sure what.
I will cast Identify on it.
Okay. Let me go here. Grab this. You have found the Pot of Awakening.
I knew it.
If one plants an ordinary shrub in the pot and lets it grow for 30 days, the shrub magically transforms into an awakened shrub at the end of that time. When the shrub awakens, the roots break the pot, destroying it, and the awakened shrub is friendly to whomever planted it. Absent commands from its creator, it does absolutely nothing at all. There's a bit of soil already in the pot, but there's nothing growing.
Whoa, it's the Pot of Awakening, dudes. You gotta
You
try
still need
this.
a minion to carry around your globe.
It's
Yeah.
true.
That's very true. Okay, I'm gonna. Is there any sort of shrub that I can plant in this thing?
Uh, we'll get to that. There'll probably be some
Okay.
plants coming up in the future. So for now, I'm gonna put this in Sylvia's inventory, and you will hold on to it until the appropriate time.
Could
Okay.
probably buy some marijuana from the goblins if we need to.
Yeah, it's a walking pot plant. That's just what we need.
Yeah.
So when you
It
open
is.
this secret door, in the middle of this dusty tome, um, rests a alabaster sarcophagus atop a 1 foot high block of granite. This thing looks unbelievably heavy. The lid of the sarcophagus is carved in the likeness of some regal elf of indeterminate age and gender, um, and there is a yawning cat stretching on the elf's chest. Um, the cat is part of the lid's carving, and it's not a separate sculpture unto itself. Um, and when you closely investigate, you realize that the entire thing is a solid block of alabaster with a fake lid carved in to appear openable. It's a false tomb built to confound would-be treasure hunters.
Huh,
Where?
so there's nothing in it?
No, it's just a solid block of alabaster.
I think Halaster is possibly the biggest troll I ever met.
He's just getting started, I assure you. So I see. Let's see here. So in this next room, you find 3 stone tables that lie strewn about the room, surrounded by ceramic shards. It looks like those shards were probably once funerary urns, based on the appearance of the various shards and kind of just briefly piecing together little bits of them. It also looks like some very hungry owl bears may have been rooting about in here and probably overturned all of these things, and we're hoping something might be inside of the urns. Now, to the south, and I'm going to reveal a little bit more here. There we go. To the south, there's a 10-foot wide, 10-foot high hallway that's sloping gently upward, and it goes around this corner, going upward the entire time. And let me see here. I need to check. Okay. So that would be.
I guess I need to roll stealth again.
That would be preferable.
I rolled middling. But I am carrying this light.
Okay. So here, let's get a good 60. All right. So 5, 10, 20.
Poor Azor dropped a 20 for a 2.
There we go. Clang, 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 or flump if you prefer. Okay, so anyways, it looks like the hallway extends a great way up into the distance. And so, oh, stop right there.
Sure.
Okay. So as you're climbing up this hallway, you come to a point, and there is suddenly a click, and you depress into the floor about half an inch, and you see a 10-foot diameter stone sphere that looks like a bloodshot eyeball careens out of an alcove at the top of the ceiling directly towards you. Um, and so anybody that's in that hallway and know you can't move is going to be subject to an attack by this. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm not sure how that works, but okay. Oh, no. Also equally amazing. So here we go.
Whoa!
Ow!
The stone hurtles to the end of the hallway and smashes into the wall here. As it goes down, I'm not quite sure how, because this is a 10-foot diameter stone and this is a 10-foot high, 10-foot wide hallway, but somehow Orkoru manages to leap on the wind around the stone sphere and manages to evade damage. And actually, let me just double check something. Do you take half if you succeed? Nope, nope. It's all or nothing. So you manage to evade, and then it wallops Sylvia, rolling her over, and she is now on the ground bleeding as a puddle of blood expands outward. And then Azure manages to hunker down with his armor and sort of deflect it enough that he doesn't take any damage, and it crashes against the wall in the southern spot. But actually, given the fact that it's right there, it's kind of impossible to get it out of the way. I mean, it is just going to sort of slowly roll towards the room that you guys were just in. It's not going to hurt Ivar or Raz, because all of its momentum was killed crashing into that wall. But
And me.
regardless, well, less so you actually. So anyways, Sylvia is currently in death saving throws. What will you guys do next?
That seems like an Azure problem.
Yeah, I'll lay out hands for 20.
Okay.
You sure? I mean, I kind of want to see Sylvia make a new character.
Sylvia, do you want to be saved?
She can't answer
Yes.
you. She can't
Okay,
answer you.
I'll lay on hands.
Okay. Sylvia, let me see here. So you are at that. Okay, so
Thank you.
you are no longer unconscious. You are in a substantial amount of pain, however. Also,
Yeah, I'm gonna use
doesn't
one of my
is your
for
effect
myself.
concentration at all, the AC?
Quest.
What?
Good question.
It's
What
mage armor,
effect?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's mage armor. It's not concentration, but even if it were, like I can cast it on myself for free. And
Well, you can cast it on yourself for free once. But more importantly, as far as mage armor goes, it isn't concentration. It's just 8 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So your unconsciousness should not affect the armor, but I wasn't certain, so I wanted to ask. Moving
Cool.
that aside, the stone sphere is kind of gently rolling down the hallway towards Ivar and Raz. Are you guys gonna back up out of the way? Are you gonna push it around? Are you gonna attack it?
I'm just gonna, because it's a stone sphere in a square hallway. I'm just gonna crawl through the little space in between it and the hallway.
Okay. So you squeeze through and pop out on the other side. I'll move you
Sounds
over here.
good.
If Sylvia's healed up, Okoro is going to keep going.
Oh, and actually, eventually the stone sphere comes to a rest in the other room. The other room isn't actually
Actually,
slanted, but
Okaru, stop.
He gets that far.
Raz is going to go ahead of Okaru and check for traps. Because it would be just like Hallister to put two of these in the same hallway.
or have
I
it
don't
like
know. That
spawn
sounds
tons of.
that sounds really devious. He's been quite the prankster so far. I think you're overreacting. let's see here. So let's go like this. That's fair.
I mean,
Anyways,
I did wait for Sylvia to actually get healed.
so investigating further ahead, you find that the rest of the hallway immediately forward is empty. It also seems that the boulder was spring loaded, so it wasn't just gravity and the fact that the floor rolled out from underneath it, but once it did, the spring rather fired the boulder at tremendous speed down the hallway, adding to its momentum and crushing Sylvia. Um,
That's okay. I just jumped it.
so it's okay for
If
you.
if
Um,
Sylvia hadn't have been in the way, she wouldn't have gotten hurt.
regardless, Raz, move yourself to where you're going to get to next in case there are any further traps. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let's go like this, and then reveal this here, and then reveal a little bit of that hallway there. Okay, so in this chamber, you find this 10-foot high room holds a row of 6 slanted stone tables intended apparently for ritualistic bloodletting. Each table has been fitted with rusty shackles and leather straps, and under the lower end of each table, set into the floor, is a shallow circular stone basin for collecting blood. You search around the walls of this room. You look for traps. You neither find secret passages nor traps.
Somebody's
Or
having a party.
yeah, I'm just gonna say no, not interested.
Okay. Um,
Raz is going to cast invisibility on themselves and keep going ahead.
okay.
Okoro's going to pull on one of the straps.
Okay. The strap actually comes undone. You're a bit stronger than most people, and if you were in substantial amounts of pain and actually struggling against this, it wouldn't hold up. These things are very old.
Hmm.
Um, anyways, when you come down this way, I'm a little confused by this. Oh, I see. It seems that there's a hallway, and then let me check to see. Nope. That's okay. Anyways, there's a hallway. You move ahead, and now it seems you found something interesting. Um, ahead, you can see there are some wall niches, um, and there is a lid of a sarcophagus that rests atop 2 misshapen blocks of stone. It seems to be creating some sort of makeshift desk at the end of the south end. Oh, at the south end of the room. Um, I thought that was visible. South end of the room. Behind it is a high back chair made of charred wood that has one armrest missing. Um, beyond the desk and the chair, dusty books are crammed into niches in the south wall. Similar niches in other walls contain tall alabaster funerary urns covered with dust and cobwebs. A quick inventory counts that there are about 17 of these things. The alabaster urns are cracked and chipped, um, but it looks like there may be stuff inside of them.
Cast detect magic as a ritual.
Aha. Detect magic grants you a sense of a glimmer of magic inside one of the pots. A section of the urn has chipped away, and you are barely able to see that there is a small satchel inside. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's a small glass figurine inside one of the urns.
All right, and then Raz is just going to stand in the middle of the room and use the Wand of Secrets.
Okay. Hmm. What does the wand specifically discover?
If secret door or trap is within 30 feet of you, it pulses and points to the one nearest to you.
Okay. You cast it. There are no traps and there are no secret doors that it can discover.
Cool. All right, no traps in here at least.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit of a relief.
Raz is going to go through the desk.
Okay. Well, the desk is really just a piece of stone on 2 blocks. So like there's no inside of it. But you go through the books. Um, you
Sure.
root through them, the books cover a wide variety of subjects: alchemy, dwarven and elvish history, engineering, gemcraft, the study of monstrosities, and weather prediction. All of them are falling apart, but there's one book that doesn't have a label when everything else is actually fairly well organized. It seems to just sort of be jammed in there. When you pull it out, it appears to be um, a badly burned wizard spell book. As you flip through the pages, you see the following spells: Comprehend Languages, Crown of Madness, Dark Vision, Gaseous Form, Ray of Sickness, Remove Curse, Tensors, Floating Disc, and Unseen Servant.
Hey, Sylvia, got some rituals for you.
I like the sound of that.
Just gonna toss that towards Sylvia because I know at least 3 of those are rituals, and I'm not sure if she has them yet.
I
Okay.
have comprehend languages, but
Tensors, Unseen Servant, and one other one is a ritual.
Comprehend Languages. Okay.
All right.
So anyways, the book actually contains all the spells within it, so when you open the object in your inventory, you should be able to see it. I'm just going to assume and skip ahead that you guys are going to identify the parcel that you found. You have found the Dust of Disappearance. Um, what is it? Not, oh, here it is. This powder resembles very fine sand. There is enough for one use. When you use an action to throw the dust into the air, you and each creature and object within 10 feet of you become invisible for 2d4 minutes. The duration is the same for all subjects, and the dust is consumed when the magic takes effect. If a creature affected by the dust attacks or casts a spell, the invisibility ends per the invisibility spell.
What did the figurine that we found end up being?
It contained the Dust of Disappearance.
Oh, okay.
I'll take that.
I
Since
couldn't. Go ahead.
most of you have stuff to do during battle that I don't, except Fireball, I think that would be a useful GTFO trick if we need it.
Not only
Yeah,
that,
nice.
but it covers a
Yeah.
10-foot area, which is fantastic.
Okora runs back.
Are the books worth anything?
The other books are not especially rare. A lot of them are actually outright outdated, making them basically worthless.
Oh, okay. Well, let's follow the Okoru.
Okay. Give me just a second to refer to my notes. I have to flip pages. Wait, is this part of A or B? Oh,
Actually,
okay.
before we continue exploring, do we just want to turn the head real fast?
Oh, with the quest giver. Yeah. If you want to do that, don't move yourselves on the map. Unless you plan to explore up that way, I'll just say that you came back. Is that all right?
works for
Uh,
me.
Sure. If people want to do that first, that's fine with me.
I heard a
Yeah.
lot of agreement. Okay, so you guys backtrack a substantial distance, make it all the way to, I believe he introduced himself as Rizrel. And let's see here. So Rizrel, okay. Return the head. Okay, so you return with the heads of both guild leaders. Rizrel says, "Place them on the floor and stand back. I have no intention to lose my life today." So you place them on the ground and stand back. He opens the door just a little bit, and the heads suddenly lift off of the ground and levitate inside, and the door slams shut. You can hear him humming and hawing over this, and he says, "Yes, yes, these are them. These are them. Well done. Let me see. Where is it? Where's the actual thingy? Aha! Oh, okay. All right. I found this. He does he actually hand this over, or is this the? Oh, I see. It's the old one. Okay. Um, I'll just put the entire parcel here. A slot in the bottom of the door opens up, and 3 objects skitter out across the floor at your feet. One of them is a unusual-looking driftwood wand. It is a 12-inch long with the with a symbol. It has a circle with 10 equidistant spokes, um, radiating outwards from its circumference, carved at one end. You also find a 12-inch long key made of stone. It bears the following inscription in Dwarvish, which I know you can read. Meet me on the lost level. Find my twin in Slither Swamp. And lastly, there's a very old and worn-looking spell book that comes through. And then Rizeral's voice chimes back up. I recently took a spell book from another adventuring mage that dared to cross me, and, well, he had everything I had and then some, so I have no need of this additional spell book, but I have all the need of goodwill from you. So please, take it and go.
Thanks, man. I got a heck of a lot of new spells today.
Unfortunately, none of these are ritual spells.
Nope.
Oh,
But worst comes to worst.
We can sell this sucker because there's greater invisibility on this one.
Yes, you can. Does anybody particularly want any of these objects, or should I stick them on your
Can I have the key?
okay. Ooh.
And Sylvia, do you want to be holder of the spell books?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll hold the rest of the trash.
Okay, so Okoro gets the wand. Or Raz gets the key. Sylvia gets the spell book. Distribute. Okay. So your business
We got a
concluded. Rules question.
we got a wizard's 12-inch dildo.
What's up?
Oh, it's not immediately important.
Well, go ahead. We'll handle it real quick and then move on.
Okay, spells in the spell books that are available for sorcerer classes, I can't add those to my spell book. It doesn't work like that for my sorcerer spell.
Nope,
Sorcerers do
sorcerer
not
spells
have.
are innate.
Yeah, they don't have a spell book. They
Don't have
just
one.
have magic innately. Um,
Okay. Well, so
so
even though I would need to learn how to cast it, I can't learn how to cast it via adding it to my token.
no, your tome doesn't work like that either.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
shot.
so the spell book is intended to be used by someone who's actually a wizard. I don't have a wizard, so there you
Our
go.
wizard died.
Sadly. So in the room beyond, like that. There we go. And then I'm just gonna reveal the rest of this down here and say fuck it. I don't have time to screw around with that. Okay. The ceiling of this room is 30 foot high and is vaulted. The room is supported every 20 feet or so by some thick stone arches. Standing in the hall are skeletons of 4 huge dragons. Their bones are held together by wire and cement. A few pieces of each dragon have broken off and fallen to the floor. A 5th dragon skeleton in a similar state of disrepair fills an alcove to the south. The hall. Uh, why don't you guys roll an Arcana check for me?
Also, Sylvia, if you would do our sense magic, detect magic, that'd be wonderful.
I think.
There we go.
Oh,
Azure the magic man.
There we go.
Okoro also seems to have a good magic sense for whatever reason.
okay. So, first, the results of detect magic. Obviously, it only goes out to 60 feet. That's only a portion of the room. The section of the room that you can sense, there is no magic in this room. We cool with that?
Okay. I'll keep walking forward slowly.
Sure you want to do that?
Yeah, that's a very good
No.
question. Are you sure you want to do that?
You already died once today.
Raz is going to be one step ahead, searching for traps.
Okay. So I'm just gonna
Thank
move you guys across the room. You don't have to worry about your tokens on the board. As you progress across the room, the dragon skeletons are creepy as fuck. And you actually have to, at certain points, sort of skirt around them because of their bulk. You make it all the way down to the other end of the room and reveal that there's a set of stairs which head off to the west down a passageway. But more importantly, you breathe a heavy sigh of relief when you find that none of these statues are magical. Now, that said, as you are, walking through here and very nervous about the potential of animate skeletons, you examine them pretty closely, and all dragons have very distinct skeletal structures. Through conversation with the rest of your party and observation, you determine that there is. Oh, I see. Um, each of the adult dragons that you see are brass, bronze, copper, gold, and silver. These metallic dragons are also all of the good dragons,
Good
all
drink. Okay.
5 of them. The gold dragon skeleton occupies the southern alcove, while the others are lined up in the main hall. None of them move. There's no traps. You don't find any secret doors or other passages. It just seems to be a skeletal museum for these dragons. With the stairway beyond, maybe it leads to yet another hall of the evil dragons, and someone's a collector. Who knows?
Can I do just like a short funeral ritual for these good guy dragons?
Sure. You take a moment, say a prayer over each one of them, bow your head, and feel a sense of peace after uttering it.
Or Koru and Jumpy the goat join in.
Yeah, the goat chews on your sleeve while you pray.
Good goat.
Thanks,
So
Akora.
way down here. The stairway here is crumbling. It causes you to slip a couple times as you're going down it because pieces of stone will break right off. But when you come around the corner and peer, you find there's a door.
Checky for trapeze.
Okay, you examine the door carefully. Let me make certain that I know what I'm talking about. Yep, you just. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, we're all set. Anyways, I'm going to use your original roll. You don't need to roll each time for this.
Okay.
There you go. Anyways, you investigate the door. You are pretty damn certain that there are no traps on it. The door doesn't seem to be locked either, and yeah.
Looks
Well, in
like
we
they
go.
open up the door.
Inside there is the remains of a dwarven shrine. Splayed across a stone bench in the middle of the room are the skeletal remains of a tiefling clad in rotted leather armor. The skeleton clutches a quarterstaff that has become brittle with age. A tattered backpack contains adventuring gear that is also rotted or rusted away. The skeleton seems remarkably intact, and you wonder what he would say if he were here now.
Oh, I don't have to wonder. I cast Speak with Dead.
Oh, okay. Um, a spiritual face raises itself out from the skull of the creature, and it looks at peace and waits for your questions.
Okoru's eyes go wide as like, you can talk to dead tieflings?
Yeah, I get 5 questions.
I like you more now.
Do you get So, what are tell me questions, guys. How did you die?
You beat me to it.
I fell prey to a cloaker. My party buried me here at this shrine.
When did you die?
Yeah, when did you die?
Um, that one's harder for him to. Actually, I suppose it's not necessarily. I'm checking. 232 years ago.
Does he
Are
have
there
any?
any...
Go ahead.
So, what were you asking, Brendan?
I was going to suggest, does he have any weapons or fighting techniques that he can bestow upon us?
Do you have
Uh,
any secrets or skills that you would like to bestow upon us?
Okay, so first off, as for the weapons, you're welcome to my weapon if it would suit you. It is a simple quarterstaff, but it served me well. As for secrets, there is a secret door in the north wall in a room filled with elven sarcophagi. None of us were able to figure out how to open it, but we're certain something incredible must lie beyond.
Yeah, totally. We'll totally check that out. Um,
I think you get one
anyone
more.
have the last question?
Wasn't that just 3?
I think it was 4.
Technically, I had one. One of them was technically 2.
Yeah, that's 4.
And then my final question is there anything we can do to help you rest in peace?
I have rested in peace. I have rested peacefully for the past 232 years. And with that, his spirit departs once more.
Cool. Anyone want to ask a question of a dragon?
Would any of them speak Infernal or Goblin?
No, they would all speak Draconic, or
Can
possibly
anyone?
Common.
I
Hey,
think that sounds awesome. Yes, let's
hey,
do that.
Sylvia, you still have tongues on you because that is not a concentration spell.
Oh, hey, that's true.
Oh wait, no, I would have to have tongues on me.
Yeah, because you were the one who cast it.
Lick yourself. Lick it.
Bro, I actually know Draconic for some reason.
You had to
Oh,
pick a language.
we can do like really weird,
I think
really crappy translation then.
Okay.
I don't.
Cool.
Shit. I
Gold
thought I did.
dragon.
Yeah, Gold Dragon.
Okay. Um,
Okoro brings Jumpy the goat.
you cast Speak with Dead upon the skeleton of the dragon, and the spell seems to be having some difficulty returning the animating spirit. Eventually, it does, but the spirit's connection is not stable. Meaning, in plain English, you will get 3 questions, not 5.
Hey, Honored One.
Unfortunately, it's not conversation. It's just questions.
Yeah, and only unfortunately Raz. You can suggest stuff to him, of course.
Do you know any secrets of the Undermountain?
Oh, hold on just a second. Okay, let's see here. Indeed I do, little mortal. Waterdeep was erected atop the bones of a dwarven kingdom built on the dust of a much older elven kingdom. It is said that a relic of the elves still waits to be found in Undermountain, a magic sword so sharp that its edge can slice through stone. Many adventurers have vanished in their hunt for this weapon, which it is said the elves have blessed with the heart of a warrior and the soul of a poet.
Do you know any secrets about Hallister Blackwell or whatever the fuck his name is?
Halaster Blackcloak, very close. Give me a minute. I'm pretty sure there's one in here that covers him. That one, no. Hmm. No. Ah, the Mad Mage of Undermountain has destroyed himself or been destroyed many times, but his demise is always short-lived. Folks say that the dungeon cannot exist without him, and so it magically recreates the Archmage whenever he meets his end within its crumbling halls. Each time Halaster returns, less of his sanity remains.
Anyone got a question for a third question? I can probably go for something we can sell information-wise. But if you guys have any questions that might be relevant to the dungeon,
You could ask it what its life story is.
I mean, we could
we
write that down.
don't have the time, given the size of that dragon.
Oh, I can't think of anything.
Going once, going twice. Okay.
You could ask it who the sexiest party member is.
Where is the site of your hoard?
The site of my hoard is 5,640 miles to the northwest of here at an elevation of 300 meters or miles above sea level.
That works for me. Can we add that to
It's-
information we can sell?
You
I
can
mean,
try. It's not much to go on.
Sure, it is. It's
it's in
um,
space if it's 300 miles above the sea.
I think it's in meters.
I did say miles, meters originally, but I meant miles, and it is in space apparently.
Yeah, that. I don't think anybody can get there without teleportation. It's in like an asteroid or something.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Here's the thing, though. Like anyone who would be dumb enough to go after a golden dragon's hoard is strong enough to be able to do that. So I'm okay just selling this information. So
Sounds good to me. Anything else?
Screw it.
Okay. Where are you headed to next?
I for one am ready to move on, but if somebody else
I don't know.
really
There's-
wants to explore something else,
I really want to see what is at the entrance, the way we didn't go, opposite of the Goblin City. I am
Okay.
Go
really
way
fucking
back to
curious.
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, we
I
have
mean,
time.
We have 20 minutes IRL, so.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So this one you will indeed need to.
No, not here. I'm like that's an intermediate.
I'm confused.
Way up here.
The stairs from the upper
Oh,
level.
you guys can't see the entire map all at once. That's why. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, like my
Yeah.
monitor's tiny.
Well, this map image is really high quality, so we'll just set that aside. Anyway, so when you make it to here, see, first of all, we're gonna go like that. Let me reveal this a little better. And then there's an entire room around this corner, which I knew that he was gonna look at. And then there's this here. And oh, there's supposed to be a little wall right here. That's good enough. All right. In the center of this room is a rusted iron hand pump and a deep stone basin. The pump looks like it's probably still in action. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Condensation clinging to the outside of this pump, which is probably why it's so rusted. Oh, and then if you look around the corner here, blah, 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 there's a door leading north.
What
Let's
about down
check
here?
that.
Give me a second. I think I measured this out while you guys were moving. I think you can see the entirety of this hallway. And then I'm just going to reveal a tiny bit so that you know where rooms are.
Okay.
Like so. And that's what you see. There's a door off to the east, and then there are at least 2 rooms beyond. And I'm taking a quick look to see if you can see anything in that far western room.
You folks can open up the door you're near. That's fine. If you need me, I'll come running.
Going to listen to make sure there's nothing on the other side of the door before opening it.
Oh, okay. Everything is all over the place. Move that. Move that. Okay. Listening at the door. What do we got here? Okay. Actually, you can hear pretty well. There is a muffled voice on the other side of this room. You're able to make out the following words. terrible, blah, blah, magical, blah, and bolts.
Raz is going to cast invisibility on themselves and knock on the door.
Okay. You cast invisibility, and when you knock at the door,
Also, yeah.
you what?
I was just saying, Sylvia should probably be hiding around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I already.
When you knock on the door, you hear now, blah, blah, find, blah, blah, to filth, blah. And the door doesn't open.
Raz is just going to open the door.
Okay. So you go to open the door and the handle twists properly, but there's something heavy on the other side of the door. It's actually pretty difficult for you to kind of shift against it. You'll need to make a strength or an athletics check, I should say, to try to force the door open.
Or, oh boys.
Let's see here.
Are you summoning an Azure to do your work for you?
I'm summoning anyone with a positive strength score.
Okay. Roll them bones, Ivar.
And I'll cast guidance on you.
Thank you.
This
How
is
much is
about
the
how
guidance?
this is about how it went when we tried to open up that other door last session.
It
Oh, it's a D4,
really,
yeah.
it really is, pretty thoroughly
Okay.
barricaded.
All right.
Azure, would you care to take a crack at it?
Come on, Azure.
What's the door made of?
It's just a standard door, same as all the rest of them.
Is it wood, stone, or what?
Wood. Yeah, wood with
Oh.
iron. I forget what they're called. Little slats across them that hold the wood together. Anyways, roll your dice for guidance.
Oh, is that a D4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You shove really heavily against it, and Ivar wasn't kidding. This thing is really stuck, but you manage to shift enough that you hear a thunderous crash on the other side of the door, and suddenly the door kind of swings open. And when it does, on the other side of the door, there's a substantial amount of junk. Tables, broken chairs. It looks like some remains of bookshelves. All had been piled up against the door. Now, in the middle of this room, there is a. You're not quite sure what it is. It looks like it's some sort of animated construct. It is about the same size and shape as Halaster. It seems to be made primarily of wood and canvas with a shoddy gray cloak draped over its shoulders. Dozens of cloth eyes have been sewn onto the cloak. This construct, or whatever it is, looms over a stone table with dusty alchemical equipment and vials of various solid and liquid substances. Nothing that looks especially unusual. And when it hears all that stuff thunder and the door kind of swings open and there's a surprise looking Azure in the doorway, he shouts, "Terrible and painful magical death! Fireballs, lightning bolts, begone!"
Does it actually fire off fireballs and lightning bolt?
Nope, doesn't even turn away from the table nor look at you.
Sylvia, could you do detect magic real fast?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's an all me thing. Forgive me for not knowing the spell school off the top of my head, but whatever the spell school is that is responsible for golem animation, this is a form of a golem. Like almost all animated constructs are some form of golem, as in D&D terms. And this one is a particularly unusual one. And so yeah, it is very madly, doing its alchemical experiments at the table. It seems very intent on whatever it's working on. This is some sort of construct, and it seems to speak common. It seems to have some level of intelligence. It might be able to understand and respond to you. That's kind of unusual as far as constructs go. Normally, they're huge, bulking things meant to protect rooms. Um, this one seems to be set about some sort of magical or scientific experiment.
I'm gonna roll Arcana and see if I can determine what it's trying to do.
Okay.
Same.
Sylvia is convinced that Sylvia and Ivar are both convinced that it's some complicated experience well beyond their experience. Raz, on the other hand, um, huffs with disdain. He's not doing anything. He's just mixing harmless substance together while muttering gobbledygook. None of this means anything. He's not doing anything.
All right, let's bypass the sucker.
Okay. So you're gonna enter the room?
I am. Yep.
But
Okay.
Raz is invisible.
No, Raz
Ah,
cast a spell.
Oh, did you?
Raz cast guidance multiple times.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So Raz and Sylvia step into the room. The construct, puppet, whatever it is, it chatters on and on and on about the various things that it says that it's mixing together. It seems to be mixing water and vodka. So nothing happens, and it seems to be intently watching the liquid and then noting something, but it isn't even capable of writing in common. So yeah, it makes no move to stop you whatsoever, and you just kind of give it some space and walk around it, and there you go. Doesn't bother you.
I check and see if any of its vodka supply is still potable.
No, 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 no. It keeps taking these things and sort of mixing them together. So, like the vodka supply that it has, there's little flecks of silvery stuff in it. And as you look closer, you kind of need to get Raz's help, but you determine there's bits of mercury mixed in. And in fact,
Oh,
yeah, there's a number of pretty poisonous substances that have all been mixed together and do not mix in any way, shape, or form. Um, so regardless, you use Mage Hand. There's no traps on the door or anything. There's a hallway beyond. I know you'll explore it, so we'll go like that. You find that there's a hallway that goes off to the north, and then there's a door that also opens up to the north.
I'll look down this hallway.
Okay. I believe you can see out to here. Boop. There is a continuation here, and I'm just going to give a teeny bit beyond what you should be able to see, just so you know the hallway continues.
Okay.
Just keep exploring that hallway, Okoro. We'll do the door afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. So when you make it up to here, let's see.
I notice Sylvia stays out of the hall this time.
Might be wise. That into there, and then there is this here. So there's a dead end after a distance, and well, naturally, turns out they are exactly the same length. There's a little bit more of a hallway down here.
Okay.
Once you make it to that corner, you hear some strange music wafting around from up ahead. I'm going to reveal a little bit more of this map. You'll see that there's yet another turn to the south, and it's very sort of it's definitely music. It's very plinky music. You're not exactly sure what instrument that would be, but there's something up ahead playing music.
Okor reports back and asks if anybody plays music. Maybe.
I mean, technically, I had to
Well,
pass those classes. Raz is going to walk up ahead.
okay.
Okay. I'm going to reveal this room, and then I need a second to read through this and my notes real quick to make sure I know what I'm doing. Let me see. This is area. Okay. All right. And then let's see here. In the middle of the room is a harpsichord made entirely of bones, with human, dwarf, ogre, and halfling finger bones for keys. There's some somber music that seems to be emanating from it. Um,
Oh, a whole harpsichord? Man, Okoro wants this thing, but that's
the
that's too heavy to carry.
Now it's really apparent once you come around the corner that the harpsichord has been enchanted to play on its own. And so this is in the middle of the room. Okay. And so. Yep, yep. Yeah, that's all you can see.
Raz is going to walk up to it.
Okay, I'm going to move your character. So you move up to, I'm pretty sure it's about here. When you come into the room, you notice that on the northern wall, carved into it, is a single measure of musical notes. They're faded and a bit difficult to read, but since you have some musical skill whatsoever, you actually could read and play those notes if you felt so inclined. However, once you or anybody else steps into the room, the harpsichord suddenly and very abruptly falls silent and ceases to play.
Crack fingers, play the music.
You'll need to make a performance check.
I'm going to. Could someone give me guidance?
Of course.
Okay.
And this is perfect for the bard.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think one more. Any other ways to shore this up?
Can you give yourself bardic inspiration?
Unfortunately, not.
Hmm.
Wait, can I?
No,
Can you bless yourself?
I'm about 99% sure that you can't. I don't think bless actually helps on skill checks. I know it attacks
Yeah.
helps on saves and attack rolls, but I don't think anything else.
Well,
All
let's
right.
see if
Well,
those music lessons paid off.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay.
Matching
Um,
16s.
So you sit down, or sorry, you have to stand. Rather, you stand. You start to try to play it. It's really difficult to read, and also the keys, because they're different species finger bones. The keys are also different sizes, making it even harder because nothing is laid out exactly as it should be. And in the end, you end up flubbing the music. You feel a necrotic, cold, deathly pull upon your soul, and you yank your hands back just as they start to wither a tiny bit. But they seem to be okay once you pull them back and kind of, shake your hands a bit.
take two. I'm gonna try again,
Okay.
Guidance.
and this time I'm actually going to cast bless on myself because that does affect saving throws.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
All right. Roll that Constitution save. Okay.
A bit better.
Once again, you feel that expected necrotic energy, and you yank your hands away from the keyboard at the instant it starts to come upon you.
There we go.
Well, now that you
30
finally
fucking
got
1.
the hang of tapping on these keys, um, there's a decorative skull above the keys that you hadn't even noticed because it was just so difficult to play the fucking thing. And it falls away, kind of wrapping you on the knuckles, and you shake your hand, but you see that there's some sort of scroll hidden inside there.
Pick it up, hand it to Sylvia.
Why, this is a scroll of raised dead.
Ooh. Now this might come in real handy.
Indeed. Um, That's random. I see. Okay, so here's an important note. The spells scrolls bear the words for a single spell, raise dead. If the spell is on your class's spell list, you can read the scroll and cast its spell without providing any components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible. Yeah, so that's noteworthy because I'm pretty sure that it falls under Raz's spell list, maybe. But I know that.
Bard, Cleric, and Paladin. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, then everything's fine. So
Yeah.
I'm going to Bard, Cleric, Paladin. Who do you want to have it? Because Raz and Azure can both make use of it.
So can I. I get cleric spells as a result of divine.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all cleric spells are considered on Sylvia's spell list.
that's right. That's right.
But somebody else can have.
I
Well,
think Azure is our best bet because if anyone, he's not going down first.
Very true.
Would you
okay.
like it, Azure?
It's a level 5 spell. I won't get that for a while.
Oh, it doesn't
Well, you
matter.
don't have to be able to cast it.
It just has
It's
to be something that you could cast in order for you to even use the scroll.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it then.
Okay. I have assigned it to your inventory. At this point, it is 9:28. You guys are welcome to continue exploring the floor, or if you want to call it quits, we can move on to leveling up your character.
I'm fine leveling up.
Yeah, I think that's what we agreed on. So
Going once,
I would like to keep exploring, but it sounds like I'm outvoted.
going twice.
do you want to put up?
Oh yeah, actually, why am I?
Well, I'm gonna vote to level up. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just going to point out that we got a scroll erased dead out of me being Explorer happy.
Yeah, that was good. We got a lot of ground covered today.
There you
Yeah.
go. I found out that I can add instructions to these.
Nifty.
All right. It is so voted. So I'm going to conclude